Welcome to my channel. Thank you for chiming in. People that are relocating into the area and say they have any idea, nothing about Kansas City, I like them to come to my channel and be able to get a little bit of the feel of Kansas City as far as restaurants, coffee shops, things like that. So I'll give out reviews on coffee shops, reviews on restaurants. So when people come visit, they know where to go and where not to go. So today, let's get to it. My video is today for the pros and cons of living in Kansas City. Pros and cons of living in Kansas City. Let's go. The first pro we're going to have is, man, the sports teams. Man, Kansas City, we got pro sports teams that are actually winning now. I mean, it used to be the Royals that used to just didn't win anything, as I'm a diehard Royals fan. But, you know, we have had some championships within the last couple, few years. 15, 16, we went to the World Series, won that dang thing in 2016. So, hey, we can't go wrong with our Kansas City Royals. Now we done went on a little down slope again. But, hey, if you're loyal and you're from Kansas City, you love the blue, you love the white, you love the gold, you love KC Royals, okay? And the Chiefs, man, can I say more? That's why I got my blue wall. I got my Chiefs right here, my Chiefs wall. You cannot go wrong with Mahomes and the Chiefs now, you know what I mean? Super Bowl winning Chiefs from a couple years ago, and we're just only going to get better. And we've always had a decent Kansas City Chiefs football team. They usually always go to the playoffs, but they usually just kind of lose. First round, we're just in and out, in and out. But we have always had a decent football team for the most part here in Kansas City. Gotta love Arrowhead. We're diehard Chiefs fans. If you ever come to Kansas City, they're going to let you know we're diehard about our sports teams. Also, we're in Missouri. For people that come from out of state and you're in Kansas, we are in Missouri. Arrowhead, Kauffman Stadium, that's the Royals and the Chiefs where they play. It's in Missouri on the Missouri side. Don't get it twisted. You come to Kansas City and talk about, oh, it's Kansas City, Kansas. No, Missouri. Okay? Don't get it twisted. But I would say that is a pro as our sports teams. Don't forget we got Sporting KC. They've been doing their thing in the MLS as well for the last few years. Very good soccer team, and their stadium is off the chain. That thing is off the hook way out there. It is lovely. And, hey, they got a good soccer team as well. So, I love our sports team. For me, that is a pro. And if you say, oh, the Royals aren't any good, hey, it's still a cheap outing, and you're going to have a good time if you go out to the Kauffman, and, you're going to enjoy yourself. And KC Wolf, you can't go wrong with KC Wolf, man. He's going to go get you energetic at the Arrowhead, at them Chiefs games, man. And Mahomes, Kelsey, Tyreek Hill. Do I need to say more? No. Come on now. Sports teams, that's number one. Come on now. Die hard. Let's go. Number two. Well, number two in pro and living in Kansas City is the job market. It is strong. We got a strong tech job market here. We got Google. They come and set up shop because they want to, hey, they know where we're at. We're centrally located. You know what I mean? And people love to work here. We got Amazon. We got all these big factories, warehouse per se, tech companies that come here and set up shop, come up, lay their hubs, their headquarters here, because they love it, the way we're centrally located. And that is one thing that they do love here, and the people here do love to work. So we got a very good job market in KC. We got Cerner. Cerner brings in tons and tons of jobs every year. If you're a nurse or in that tech field, Cerner's going to get you. They're going to take care of you as well. You can get a good job anywhere paying $15 an hour in Kansas City. I'm sorry. If you want to work, we got a very good job market. It's very strong. That is number two. And, who doesn't want to have a good job market? That's why investors come here. That's why they want to come here and buy rental property, because we got a very good job market. We got a very good rental market. So all these investors coming here and flocking in because, of course, it's affordable. And the job growth is just ridiculous right now. If you're in Kansas City and you're hurting for a job, something's wrong. There's always jobs posted. People are always hiring. Go get yourself a job. Come to KC. They're going to give you a job, and you're going to earn it, and you'll have a nice paycheck, good quality of living, all right? Number three, and this goes along with that, it's kind of like the sandwich. We go at the job market and all that good stuff. The affordability. The housing market and affordability in Kansas City is ridiculous. Did you hear what I just said? Investors coming in here and buying up stuff. Why? Because it's affordable. They love it here because their money goes a lot further here. Because things are a lot cheaper. Just come on, let's just be honest. Things are cheap. You're gonna buy some cheap property here in Kansas City. Make sure you know what you're buying, but you can get stuff pretty cheap, pretty affordable. 2-bedroom apartment, probably run you $800, $850. You know, depending on where you stay. You can go get one even on a little bit on the Kansas side. You can get a 2-bedroom still for a good $1,000, and it's going to be very nice. You know what I mean? So affordability goes a long way here in Kansas City. When you're buying a house, I mean, the median home is like $275,000, folks. It's very affordable. You can get a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home for your family, and you can buy it for less than $150,000 and be in a decent area to raise your kids and your children in. Affordability. Now, you want the good school districts and things like that. Yes, you might have to pay a little bit more, obviously, because that's where the best schools are. But you can get you a 3-bedroom house, 1 bath, and be in a nice area for a good about 150,000, maybe over Eastern Jackson County and Independence or something like that. It's very doable, so it's very affordable, and that is my number 3 thing that I love about Kansas City is how affordable the housing market is in Kansas City. Crime is my number 1 con. The cons of living in Kansas City. Crime. You're gonna get high crime. Yes, crime is like 8th. I don't know. The homicide rate was like 8th in the country or something just a couple years ago. We average about 80 to 95, sometimes 100 homicides a year. Crime is my biggest one con for living in Kansas City. I hate to be a Debbie Downer. It is what it is. We do have crime just like other cities. Don't let that scare you away from the city. Just make sure when you're coming to visit, you make sure you tuck in your purse. Make sure you're comfortable with your surroundings and know what's going on, and make sure you're in the right spot when you're visiting these areas or where you're staying. Just make sure if you're coming to relocate, make sure you get a realtor on side to where they get you a good, decent area to live in, because there is very good spots to live in Kansas City, but we do have crime just like everywhere else. Sometimes people get crazy here in Kansas City. I don't know what it is. When the summertime comes, these fools just get crazy. It can be on Christmas. It ain't gotta be hot. Sometimes these fools just act up. We got a bad acronym. I don't even want to say it on YouTube, but it's something with the KC, and it's something silly, something city, and I don't even want to say it. But we have crime. Yes. Be aware of your surroundings when you're here in Kansas City. Watch what you're doing and watch who you're doing it with. But no, seriously, just be safe when you're in Kansas City. It just happens. You can't run away from it. Crime's everywhere. Unfortunately, we do have it. So that's my number 1 con. I don't even want to talk about it to give it more highlight than what it needs to have. But we do have crime. It needs to be taken care of. Hopefully the politicians, everybody that are looking at this, take care of the issues that we have at hand so we can get this crime fixed, because we do have crime in our city and it needs to be taken care of. When you're talking about top 10 in the country of a homicide per capita, you have a problem. So we do need to take care of that problem. I don't even want to speak about it no more. But number 1 is crime. Okay, that's my number 1 con. 2, my number 2 con when living in Kansas City is you will have to have a car. I mean, you can live in the inner city, and get around. Don't get me wrong. But if you're gonna live in a decent area, it's pretty much Kansas City is like a big suburb. I don't want to say it's too spread out like some of these other big cities, because it's not. Because it can take you 20 minutes to get anywhere, usually, but you're gonna need a car. Because you can be, totally in Independence on the eastern side of town. You need to go out south. It's going to take you 20 minutes in the car. Or you want to go to the plaza from Independence or Raytown. It's going to take you a good 15, 20 minutes in a car. If you're going out to the stadiums, you know what I mean? You're going to need a car. You know, they do. We're working on the transportation issue in Kansas City because it is not the best. We do have public transportation runs throughout the city, but when it comes to the other suburbs, you know, you're kind of cut off. The transit is only in the city. So when you're going to these suburbs of Blue Springs and Overland Park and, you know, Olathe and Raytown, you know, when you're going to all these other different suburbs, there's no access to the public city transportation per se. So you are kind of cut off. So you need a car. That is one thing that sucks about Kansas City. So that's my number two is you will need a car to get around. I'm just going number three thing that I don't know, could be number one, number two. Taxes. Taxes. I hate it. I hate it. I said once again in the video, we are on the Missouri side, but we do cross that state line. Some people work in Kansas side. Some people work on the Missouri side. If you work on the Missouri side, but you know, live in the Kansas side or whatever, you're going to be taxed. That's what they do. They hate it. So if you live in Missouri and then you work in Kansas, then you're double taxed. So it sucks. And I'm telling you, that is one of the worst things about Kansas City is the taxes, man. They always hitting us over the head for something. Every time I look up, I'm like, man, I'm going to pay a tax for this, a tax for that. I feel like it's just, you know, the wild, wild west with taxes, the way they throw it at us. But Kansas is like top 14, top 15 in the U.S. in taxes. So they always hitting. And then for every 15,000 of taxable income that you make, Missouri takes like 2.7 or 2.8 of that. Last time I checked. And then on top of that, if you're married, it takes like 4.7. So it automatically just doubles. I mean, it's crazy. So then for a married couple on top, it's 4.7. Did you hear that? It's crazy. So you're getting taxed for living. And it's ridiculous. But we do have very high taxes. As I say, we got good job growth and good, you know, affordable homes and living and things like that. We are taxed. So you do get taxed. You kind of just don't even pay attention to it because you just hate it so much because you're getting taxed. But yes, taxes is my number three con for living in Kansas City is the taxes. That's my pros and cons of living in Kansas City. I could add to them, you know, because obviously I could talk and elaborate a little bit more. I could go into more pros. I could go into more cons. I could have weather as a con. Some people might think it's a pro because they have all four seasons, but it might be a con because we get a lot of the hail and the you know the winds. We get tornadoes. You know, we get the ice when it comes to the winter time. So it could be a con as well. So yes, I can put the weather in there. I could put traffic. You can get anywhere. You know, I would think in Kansas City within 30 minutes for the most part. You know, from all the way out west, all the way out east, from the Kansas side to Missouri, you know, across the state line. You know, you can get anywhere from about 30 minutes, but some people say that's good traffic. Some people say it's bad because our roads are terrible. So that could be a con too, is our roads suck. So what are your pros and cons? What do you think? Comment, share all your information of your pros and cons, and what do you think about my pros and cons? Do you agree or not? Hey, what is your pros and cons of living in Kansas City? Maybe share the pros and cons of living in your own city. So these are the pros and cons of living in Kansas City. Mark E's pros and cons, that is. Hey, if you found any of this information cool, share, comment below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Talk to y'all soon. Peace.